After our impressions with the Xiaomi 12 and the growth it's made from its predecessor, here comes the Xiaomi 12 Pro. Equipped with the new Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 inside, advanced pro-grade cameras and computational photography, the Pro variant taking it a step further was inevitable. But while we could focus this review on the almost identical construction over its standard version, we sought to carry out some extensive tests for its triple 50-megapixel cameras against the likes of another triple-array camera smartphone, the iPhone 13 Pro, with its own respected triple 12-megapixel cameras, along with some factors that may make this Xiaomi 12 Pro phone to watch for in its class, a flagship that could stand amongst other premium smartphones. Could this be the most promising flagship this half of the year that won't actually break the bank for its value? Let's find out. From a design standpoint, this grey colorway and texture on the back surely adds an executive feel, wrapped around a sleek middle frame, giving it elegance. It has a practical, comfortable fit in the hands, weighing 204 grams, with seamless curves wrapping the device front to back and corner to corner, measuring 8.2 millimeters thin. The overall look doesn't stray far away from the standard Xiaomi 12, with functionalities such as the reliable optical under-display fingerprint sensor and the new haptics when unlocking the phone being identical. Vibrational feedback felt through the glass has a satisfying feel when navigating through Xiaomi's MIUI 10. When it comes to speakers, let's revisit some of the complaints we had in the previous Xiaomi 11T Pro. The Xiaomi 11T Pro had loud dual speakers supported by Dolby Atmos, but we found either side of the speakers easily blocked by the palm as it was placed parallel when held in landscape mode. We have a nice surprise in the Xiaomi 12 Pro instead. Xiaomi took notice of this small detail and listened to users' feedback, experiencing the same ergonomic faults as we did, and addressed it in this rendition. They placed the speakers diagonally to reduce this occurrence and added 2 extra speakers, which makes it one of very few phones to adopt quad speakers, a commendable attention to detail to improve audio quality. The speakers themselves sound as good as you'd expect from hardware tuned by Harman Kardon, producing an immersive and balanced sound experience throughout any movie or content viewing experience. This is accompanied by top-of-the-range WQHD+ AMOLED 6.73-inch display for an enjoyable visual experience, with peak brightness topping at 1500 nits, 1440 by 3200 resolution, 521 ppi density producing over 1 billion colors, and supports dynamic 120Hz refresh rate. In other words, it strikes as a very colorful and power-efficient display. Adaptive Sync Pro allows us to auto-adjust the LTPO display from 120Hz down to 1Hz depending on the content for smooth scrolling, swipes, and fast responses in gaming experiences. We noticed fast response jumping between different apps running in the background on this phone, equipped with Android 12, 12GB of RAM, Snapdragon's 8 Gen 1 processor, and Adreno 730. Our Geekbench scores boast one of the higher marks we've seen so far, with a single core score of 1247 and 3557 for multi-core. This also factors in high graphics rendering capabilities with an average frame rate of 50 frames per second, and manages an overall score of 8236 on our 3D Mark Wildlife test, where it performed better than 95% of the results from all other devices. It maintains a consistent operating temperature even when put through its paces, with some occasional rise when using the cameras. Now to the main event, pitting the Xiaomi 12 Pro cameras against one of the contenders for most consistent image quality outputs, the iPhone 13 Pro. Before we take a comparison captured from both phones, we shouldn't take away from how good the triple 50-megapixel cameras actually is, which consists of an f1.9 wide, an f1.9 telephoto, and f2.2 115 degrees ultra wide. A highly promoted claim by Xiaomi is promising better low-light performance, with the Sony's IMX707 ultra-large sensor utilizing a 2.44nm 4-in-1 pixel combining technology with convincing outputs to match. It produces very sharp, vibrant, and consistent colors from all 3 lenses. Even portrait mode deserves a mention for doing very well at separating subjects even in lower lit environments, with clever computations to optimally raise exposures for a balanced image. Quite a familiar trait with the likes of an iPhone 13 Pro, which usually has an equal balance for a well-exposed overall image. Daylight outputs on the 12 Pro, however, conjures more light thanks to the big sensor, while retaining most of the blacks and shadows with much lesser noise. Low light performance is still better from the lower pixel count in the 12-megapixel iPhone 13 Pro cameras, as larger sensors will ultimately struggle more in this department. We'd hate to take away the true capabilities of the Xiaomi 12 Pro, as we had the chance to attend Xiaomi's own photography academy, bringing together visual storytellers alike and sharing their passions about the Xiaomi 12 series, as these photo examples show, capturing the essence of wayang kulit traditions and the creators documenting how these works of art are made. But where low light improvements are commendable is its ultra night video feature, reducing noise and grain for the darker parts of an image. We personally prefer its output when set side by side with the iPhone 13 Pro footage examples. While the iPhone suggests a brighter overall image, the shadows are much richer from the Xiaomi 12 Pro and has a truer to life look. Which also reminds us of a phone we've previously reviewed that had similar outputs, the Sony Xperia Pro I, which kinda explains the distinguishable similarities we experience given how the sensor in the Xiaomi 12 Pro is manufactured by Sony themselves and might have adopted its color science in this phone. Also, not forgetting Xiaomi's Pro Focus feature, which keeps subjects in focus, recognizing moving objects as a focal point even when obstructed, and continues to track immediately after the obstruction is cleared from the frame. Battery life got us about 2 full days worth of casual use with its 4600 mAh battery, and it also comes with a huge 120 watts fast charger that fully charges it to 100% in just 25 minutes when boost charging speed toggle is enabled. The Xiaomi 12 Pro comes standard with Android 12, 12 gigs of RAM, and 256 gigs or 512 gigs of storage, and starts at 3,899 ringgit or 1,349 Sing dollars. As a Pro variant, it sure does feel like one, and while price differences may be a bit steep compared to the standard Xiaomi 12, it may arguably be justified. Its triple Pro-grade cameras, Harman Kardon quad speakers, smooth operations and fast computations, top-of-the-line WQHD+ AMOLED 120Hz display, premium build and ergonomically balanced design makes a sound argument. The Xiaomi 12 Pro may not break innovative records within its class or take the crown for best cameras, but it does break the mold of how good flagships can get without the hefty price tag, something more commonly seen from other manufacturers as of late. Even so, we're pleased about how well communicated the people at Xiaomi are, factoring the most minute of details from general user feedback, translating them into improving where they can for the people that ultimately matter most in the end, you.